Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to give you a quick demo on Syncgen. Syncgen is a tool that I've been building in Go, and it's a CLI meant for database admins to configure high availability PostgreSQL clusters with just one YAML file. The idea isn't to replace Kubernetes or Patroni, but to give smaller sized teams a low complexity option to set up their high availability databases. It comes with integrated health checks, failover logic in case the primary goes down, as well as built-in observability with Datadog integrations and a Grafana integration coming soon. For this demo, you'll see how Syncgen works, what an example config file looks like, as well as bits and pieces of the Datadog integration. Now that you have a good idea of what Syncgen is, let's just jump right into it. All right, everyone. So for this demo, what we'll do is we'll deploy three EC2 instances, set up a primary with two replicas, and then we'll see Syncgen in action when we run our scripts. The dev process can be kind of lengthy, so I'm going to cut out a lot of it, but I'll show you the Syncgen scripts in action, what they generate, and the end results, of course. So let's just get into provisioning the AWS infra, and I will get back to you when we actually run our Syncgen files. Okay, everyone, the AWS infra has now been provisioned. Once you're done provisioning the AWS infra within the devenv, you also get a config file for free. So, this config file, without getting too much into the weeds, essentially just defines some metadata for your DBs, such as the host, the port, the name, password, as well as some high availability specific information like a replication user and their password. You can imagine when you're in production, you can very easily set this up by creating a .env file and filling in the different key value pairs in the YAML file. Obviously, you don't want to be doing anything like this where I have my API keys exposed. Don't worry, these will be rotated before the video is uploaded. But essentially, this is just a very simple YAML file that you can feed into Syncgen. So let's get into using Syncgen now. The first step when using Syncgen is to run the validation command. So let's just do that right now. As you can see, the validation is successful. When I'm happy with the validation as well as the summary it has given me, I'm able to then build our automation scripts. And that's done by just using the build command. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. Now you can see it gives us a couple of next steps over here. So let's go and follow them. When I go back into my text editor, I can see that there's this new generated file folder created. It comes with certain directories such as Datadog, primary, and various replica directories. Without jumping too much into the weeds, these .sh files basically orchestrate the entire high availability process. It sets up config files in the primary, it runs some essential scripts in the replica such as pg-based backup, and the Datadog install command actually installs the agents onto each of the DBs. So the next step is to actually deploy our databases and then run these scripts within each of the VMs. Deploying the databases takes some time, so I'll get back to you when we're about to run the Syncgen scripts onto the VM. Okay, everyone, we're at the last part of setting up Syncgen. So what I'm going to do now is run these .sh files that are automatically generated, which just move the specific files that we need into each of the respective VMs. And then it's going to run the setup primary and setup replication commands that we saw earlier. This takes some time, so I'm going to again do this part off camera, and then let's verify after a successful setup whether Syncgen actually works. Okay, everyone. So Syncgen has successfully run on each of the VMs, and you can see here that we've created our replication slots. They were inactive when they were first made, but we will see shortly that each of them are working and the replication works. So I won't get too much into the logs. On each of the VMs, there is a log file that is created, so you can see exactly what's working and what failed. But for the sake of this demo, let's actually see Syncgen working. So here is my primary server, and here is my replication server. I'm going to go into each of the DBs, and I'm currently on the primary. Here is my replica. I'm going to click /dt. You can see no relations have been created yet. I'm going to go here. No relations have been created. So let's go and create a table or relation. Create table test. And we're going to give it one column, call one, and we're going to make an int. And now our table has been created. When I hit /dt here, I get an option. So let's now go into here, /dt, and you can see right away we have a new table. Let's check if our inserts work. And we'll just give the value 12. And now if we were to do a select, you can see instantaneously we're able to get this data replication between our two VMs. So there you have it. That's Syncgen. Thank you so much for listening to this demo. Hope you found it interesting, and stay tuned for new updates to the project. Thank you so much.